Alright guys, I'm going to show you how to make a coil handle. I've got a small mug here, or a cup at this point, but I'm going to put a handle on it, make it a mug. I'm just going to start with a small amount of clay. This will actually be too much. I'm going to roll it out, and I'm going to roll it out into the shape of a carrot. So I want this end to be smaller, because it's already started smaller, just makes sense. And the top part of my handle to be a little bit thicker. Just rolling that out. So I've already got a little too much. I'm going to get rid of some of that excess clay. So, shape of a carrot, very small carrot. Make sure it's nice and even all the way across. Just kind of clean it up. Okay, at this point I'm going to roll it out. You guys would use a rolling pin. I have this little roller for the purposes of the camera so that it fits in there. And I'm just going to flatten that out. And you want to do it nice and even so you don't push too hard and end up with a divot in a specific spot. So it doesn't just have little humps in it. You want to try to just push lightly. Flatten it out just a little bit like so. When I make coil handles, I like to make them look like pulled handles. So the way I do that is I do a little thumb track. I push lightly in the middle with a little bit of water. And then I take my fingers along the sides at a slant. So at an angle is what I'm talking about right here, just at an angle. So it makes it look like a pulled handle. We call it the faux pulled handle. So the handle's pretty much done now. I just need to cut it, and I'm going to cut it at a 45-degree angle. So I'll angle it this way so you can see it. And I don't know exactly where to cut this. So the way I measure it is next to my mug. And I cut them just a little bit taller than the mug that I'm making. So I'll mark a line, and I'll set it down, cut it at a 45-degree angle, and we'll turn it so you can see it. 45-degree angle, like so. Then I'll flop it up on that 45-degree angle and slowly bend it back. If you bend it back too fast, sometimes it'll crack, and you can add water to it if it does start to crack. So there's my handle. And I'm going to make a thumb tab for the top. So I'm just going to take a little tiny ball of clay, and I'm going to roll it into a teardrop shape. Just by pinching the top of it, not the bottom. So a little teardrop. And I take my thumb and I just press down, and this will literally be the thumb holster, if you will, or a spot to hold your thumb on the top of the mug. So I'm going to leave that here for a second while I put my handle on. And you don't want to change the handle shape once you get it on here. Get it to a shape you like. Sometimes you have to let them dry a little bit. Then I line it up on the mug, like so, and I'll mark it. I'll make sure it's nice and straight. I'll mark where the top part's going to be and where the bottom's going to be. Okay, then I'll set my handle back down. I'll score those two spots. Bottom one a little bit less, and make sure that they're aligned. You don't want to end up with a bottom of your handle over here unless that's what you're going for, something wild. Okay, and as always, score and slip. Little slip on there. Okay, then I'm going to score my handle as well. At this point I don't really worry too much about the movement of the handle, just because I've already marked where it's going to end up. And I always start by sticking the top on first, because that makes the most contact, because it's a thicker piece of clay. So the top of your handle is bigger, unless your style is to make the top smaller. And just kind of give a little pressure. And you always hold your mugs here. Some people do the little mitten style where they slide their fingers in, so you want to make sure it's big enough for what the way you like to hold a mug, or if it's for someone else, maybe the way they hold it or the way you think the majority of people will hold it if you're giving it away. Just make sure it's big enough to fit your fingers in. Okay, and then you'll see these little dirty spots here where I've got slip around them. So this is just kind of a cleanup time. I'm just going to take water and a paintbrush, kind of dab it down on the table, and just clean around my handle. You'll notice I don't blend my handles. You can if you'd like to. But I like the look that it gives, or the aesthetic, when you don't blend the handle. So there's the handle. Now I just need to add the little thumb tab on the top. So I can't get to the top of this handle with the serrated rib, so I'm going to use a needle tool and just kind of scratch where I know that little button will be. And I can use the serrated rib on the bottom of the button. And again, score and slip. Just a little bit of slip in there. And I'll put the thumb tab right on top there. I'm actually going to cut off that little point so that it fits flush to my mug. And there you go. Handle, coil handle with a thumb tab.